long story, so you got a couple of minutes. We're gonna do it, okay? Cool. All right. You all know I'm Jordan.
One question. Amazing. Okay, continue.
This is Nene. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you very much. The two questions everyone has been asking all night: how did you guys meet? And how do you pronounce her name? Fatimata? And I try to help him out. Imagine an Italian chef is like, hey, pasta di Fatimata. That's one way to remember it. Or as the guy at the pizza pickup window like to say, cheese pizza for Foxy Mama? Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a good one. But to answer the first question, we met online. I know. But not on one of those like trashy dating apps like Tinder or OkCupid, okay? We met on something way more sophisticated. Facebook dating. Yeah. They match you with people you're not friends with because obviously if you're already friends, you're in the friend zone. But when I saw Fati online, I was like, for sure, thumbs up, swipe to the right. Like, duh, how could you not?
Duh.
But I'm sure a lot of people are like, okay, but what's a girl like her doing with a guy like you? Here's what I think happened. She meant to swipe no, and accidentally thumb slipped with like a half thumbs up to the baby. And it just goes to show that Facebook algorithms, all you need is 1.5 thumbs up for love. It was actually really hard trying to nail down a first date with Fatimata because she works so much. She's like 12-hour days, 12 days a week. We finally nailed down a first date at 10 o'clock at night. For real, it's like, you get off work at what time? All right, yeah, there's an ice cream place open at 11. You can swing that. But yeah, so we our first night we meet, I remember walking up to her, and even from far away you could see her eyes, and you're like, oh my gosh, she's got beautiful eyes. And as I was getting closer, she realized I was her date, so she took her hand off the pepper spray, pulled her mask down, and I was like, oh, thank God, her whole face is beautiful. It was COVID. You don't know. You don't know till you know. And of course, you see Fatimata, she's incredibly captivating. I would later learn that her name, Fatima in Arabic, actually means captivating. So I was like, beautifully apt description. I come from a conservative background. I'm from Ohio, Midwest conservative vibes, right? Cool. I knew going on a date with Fatimata, this was going to be my first time going out with someone who was vegan. And I have some pretty like deeply religious beliefs that like you can't call ice cream that's not made with dairy ice cream, right? That's not ice cream, that's frozen glue. But it was pretty good. I made a face. I was like, okay. We ate our ice cream. We walked the streets of Pasadena. We danced a little bit. And at the end of the night, I was like, Fatimata, you're the most beautiful, amazing, inside and out. You're so incredible. I have never been on such an amazing date with someone online. Like, literally, I would love to go on a second date with you, but even if this is the only date we ever go on, when I go home, I'm deleting my app because it's never going to get better than this. I'm glad you thought that was cute because she thought I was just blowing smoke. She rolled her eyes. Okay. But she went home that night, and before she went to bed, she pulled up my profile. Obviously, she wanted to dream about me. And I had already deleted the app. And that's how she knew I was the real deal.
Yes.
Our second date, I invited her to my birthday party. Which was fun because I was introducing her to all my friends, and it was just hilarious watching their reaction. You're like, hi, what's your name? Fatimata? Where are you from? Burkina Faso? Yeah, you have no idea where that is. Okay? Nobody knows.
Is that in South America?
Yeah, is it in South America?
No.
And then I'm like, what do you do? Epidemiology. That's the study of skin, right? She's got a degree in COVID. Okay, that's epidemiology. Our third day was a road trip, but not like hey, you want to go on like a road trip to San Diego kind of thing. I was like, hey, I gotta drive back to Ohio. You want to stop over in Texas? I'll drop you off at your family's. And road trips are a great way to get to know people. She was crazy enough to say yes. Even her sister was like, bring the pepper spray. I love road trips. What I found out though is that I really dislike small bladdered people, right? SBPs. Growing up, my mom was an SBP. She was always the first one in the car. As soon as we start rolling, honey, when you have a second, can you find a place to pull over? I was like, dang it, Mom! We just left the driveway. But I was on this road trip with Fati. We were like 200, 250 miles, 300 miles in, and she hasn't said a word. And I was like, oh my God, I am not about to be the SVP of this trip. So I did what any guy would do. I was like, yeah, well, babe, looks like the gas gate's getting pretty low. We're gonna have to pull over for some gas. Pulled up to the pump, and I was like, went for my wallet. I'm gonna pay with cash inside, actually. Sorry it took so long line at the register. Bathrooms, great idea. We had a good trip, met her family. That was the first time she ever brought a guy home. That was cool. I look just, her American family, I look just like them. And then from there, I went home for a couple of months, spent some time with my dad who was doing some rehab. Not drugs and alcohol. He likes to rehab houses. That's where he gets his fix. So we were fixing up a cottage on the lake, and that summer, beautiful sunsets. And Fatimata and I were staying up late at night, talking on the phone until the early morning. Thankfully, I was 3 time zones ahead, so that came quicker. And I was like, hey, what's it gonna take for you to come out here to come see these sunsets? These are beautiful. She's working from home. She's like, I just need an office and some internet. And we didn't have internet up in the cottage. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I called the cable company, and I told my parents, I'm like, hey, there's a girl from LA coming. I ordered internet. I'm paying for the first 2 months. After that, you guys are on your own. As soon as that guy left, I logged online, booked her a flight. And I was like, hey, I've got you internet. You're good to go. Come out for a week. And she was still working every day. She'd finish her work. At dinner time, we'd go take a walk to the end of the street and watch the most beautiful sunsets on the water. Whether they were beautiful because they were beautiful or because she was there, I don't know, but we've got the pictures to prove it. So I was in Ohio. Finally, she's like, we need to come back to LA. So I come back to LA. Really, she just wanted me to meet her friends because they all thought I was imaginary. We went on so many dinner dates, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're real. You're so real. Oh, I thought she was lying. I thought it was a joke. I'm really real. One of the coolest things we did, she was like, hey, let's go on a meditation retreat. A silent 10-day meditation retreat. And I was like, what, do I talk too much? Why? But I was all right, 10-day silent meditation retreat. That's not that hard. I can swing that. Before I left, I told my buddy, he was like, hey bro, if it gets weird, let me know. I'll come kidnap you. I was like, nah, dude, it's cool. We're cool. 2 days into the silent meditation, I was like, oh fuck, I wish Josh would come kidnap me right now. But on the 7th day of the silent meditation, I was sitting in my room, and I got this picture of like, wow, I think I want to propose to Fatimata. And I had this idea of like how I wanted it to happen. We had a trip planned for Africa at the beginning of this year. We're gonna be gone for a month. We were taking some friends to Ghana, and I was like, that's when I'm gonna do it. But I gotta surprise her. She's got the whole thing planned out. So we finished the meditation retreat. I call her sister in Texas. I'm like, hey, can you help me find out what kind of ring she wants? She picks out this beautiful, simple, elegant gold ring with an emerald on it. And I take the picture, and I talk to a jeweler friend of mine. I'm like, hey, can you make this for me? And he's like, yeah, I got you. Holidays, a little busy, but I'll get it before you guys leave, no problem. I'm like, cool. 2 days before we're about to leave for Africa, he finally messages me, sends me a picture of this ring, and I was like, oh no. My face looked like I just ate frozen glue for the first time. I was like, oh, that's not the ring. It looked like he smashed it with Thor's hammer, and I was like, here you go. I was like, she said yes to a lot of things. She's pretty crazy, but if she sees this ring, she's gonna say no. For sure. So I scrambled, found a ring, and then sneak it into Africa. We're in Ghana. Michael's with me. His mom's with me. Temecha, are you here? She's not here. Oh, Temecha's here. Okay, so we're all there. We're on this trip. She's got every day planned. I pull our friend Daniel, the tour guide, aside. I'm like, hey man, I want to propose. I've got some ideas. Can you help me out? He makes a couple phone calls. We put it together. Second to last day of the trip before it's over, he tells everyone, all right, we're staying at a homestead. It's a nice, beautiful place in the mountains, green, lush. Everybody, we're gonna have a formal African dinner. Wear your best African attire. So everybody's getting ready, and as they're getting ready, I knock on Fadi's room, and I'm like, hey babe, do you have that traveler's diarrhea pill? My stomach's feeling a little like. And she's like, oh yeah, I got it. I'm like, cool. I don't need it right now, but I might need it later. The plan was, we're gonna have this dinner. I'm gonna be like, hey, can you go grab those pills? And then when she goes up, we're gonna like switch some stuff around. She'll come out, marry me, blah, blah, blah. So this was like a setup, right? So we get down there, beautiful dinner table, roses, red roses, white roses, bouquets across the table, candle lights, string lights. It looks a lot like this actually. It was beautiful. And there's a saxophone player just like jamming on songs. I'm like, wow, we got a saxophone player? That's so cool. I had no idea. In the middle of dinner, I lean over. I'm like, babe, can you go grab that traveler's diarrhea pill? I'm not feeling too good. The loving, caring person that she is, she gets up and just rushes to the room. And I'm like, oh no, she's gonna be back before we get time to like switch everything around. So I'm like, I gotta stop. So I run up after her. I get to the room. She's like finding the pill, and she's like, what are you doing here? It's rude to leave the table. That's like so not culturally appropriate. Get back down there. I'm like, no, babe, it's cool. Maybe I don't need traveler's diarrhea. Do we have any Pepto-Bismol? And I'm like trying to stall. I'm like, well, wait, let me read the ingredient. Pepto-Bismol can be used for traveler's diarrhea. Babe, you can use Pepto-Bismol for I don't care. Let's go. It's like 90 seconds. So I'm like, all right, cool. Put it in my pocket. We start walking down. I try to hold her hand, but now she's like speed walking, so I'm trying to slow her down. Hey, wait. She's like smiling, jaws clenched though. She's like, and she has no idea, right? She doesn't know. So we get down there, there's a little archway, we step in there, as soon as the saxophone player sees us, he starts playing her favorite song, Jason Mraz, the When I Look in Your Eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold. And she's like, babe, oh my gosh, it's our favorite song. It's like, whoa, no way. Incredible. And she's like, it's right here. And there's a sign that says, marry me, like balloons, right? But we don't want her to see it yet. It's supposed to be a surprise. So Daniel, the tour guide, grabs him and he's like, Friday, come look at this dish of African rice. And her being the most amazing present person that she is, she's like, wow, a dish of rice! That's incredible! Hey, it's a saxophone player! You have to film that! I was like, yeah, wow, I'm filming it. I'm getting all on camera, man. So we start dancing. And I'm like trying to hold her. I'm like, babe, come on, let's just dance. And she's doing a smile thing, but she's sort of pushing me away while we're dancing. And I'm like, babe, what's up? She's like, you're dancing in front of people in Africa, you don't like PDA, it's just not a thing. Like, that's awkward. Like, babe, no, you don't understand. This is a surprise. We put all this together because I wanted to thank you for all the hard work you put into making this trip happen. She's like, oh, that's so cute. And while we're dancing, I'm dancing, my arms are behind her, I'm opening the ring, and I'm like, I have one more surprise for you. She's like, what is it? I can't believe she didn't realize it, right? Like, I was amazed she didn't figure this out. I finally step back, I show her the ring. I open it, and I show it to her, and she's like, oh oh my gosh! And finally it clicks together. Get down on one knee. I tell her some beautiful things that you're never gonna know. Ask her to marry me, my hand's shaking, and I put the ring on. She says yes. We dance a little bit more, and then finally I show her Michael's there, Temetra, his mom, some family friends, and she finally sees the sign, the balloons say, marry me. She's like, oh, you knew! Which is great. It was a great surprise. After our trip to, after the proposal, after the trip, we were going to Burkina Faso to already talk with her parents and have an engagement party and conversation there. Which is where we got our awesome outfits from, which we brought a little Africa to you guys. So you want to share that? These were custom made in Burkina Faso. And now, as soon as we got back, Marha, Victoria, a bunch of them reached out to us and said, hey, we want to throw you guys a party. We want to celebrate you guys. And that's how you all ended up here tonight. Thank you for being here. And now that we're engaged and we're back home, the two questions that everybody's asking us, when are you getting married? And how do you pronounce her name? Cool. Thank you guys. Thank you.